by the time we call, and then they walk across the street, they're in a whole other district. They're in, what is it, 3D they're in, when they walk across the street? So by the time, and there's no coordination between 3D and 5D. So by the time somebody breaks in my house and walks across the street, they're in a whole other district, there's no coordination, there's a whole bunch of confusion, and then all the cops are saying, well, oh, you know, we can't do this and we can't do that. Well, I'm not trying to hear what you can't do. My house has been broken in, my sister's car has been keyed. I mean, I probably myself personally have about $10,000 worth of damages that I've incurred. And then you're telling me, but, you know, call us all the time. No, there needs to be someone there.
Right. Now,
Especially in that neighborhood, all the taxes that we pay specifically, that neighborhood was a nothing neighborhood, and now the homes there are about $600,000 more. So it means the property rates, the tax rates have gone up. The police presence should reflect what we pay in taxes.
So please take that back to the commander, and I'll be touching base with him again.
no problem.
Thank you so
It's
much.
not you. It's not you, but it's the fervor.
I have
it
to
should
stop you,
reflect.
sir. I'm sorry. We hear your complaint, we hear your issue. You're going to address it with the
Right,
commander,
I'll definitely
and we are going to follow through and harass the commander and have something done about it.
Right.
So I appreciate that you'll take it back for us.
No
Thank you very much. 251.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Allison Prince. I'm from Goulston and Stores. I'm a zoning lawyer. I'm here with Crystal Kern from APAC, the America-Israel Public Affairs Committee. For those of you who don't, and I really appreciate the chairman squeezing us onto the agenda and letting us have 5 minutes before we file our application. I always like to come to an A&C before we file. We need to meet with a single member district commissioner as well, Ms. Judd, and we will be doing that. APAC, for those of you who don't know, has an office building on the north side of H Street between 2nd and 3rd, in the same square where that air shaft is over the freeway. Does everybody know where the APAC property is? I think there's a better plan that has the axiometric drawing. Yeah, a photograph, that's great. So APAC has been in this office building on the north side of H Street between 2nd and 3rd since 2008. The building was built for APAC, and at the same time that the building was constructed, the limited liability company that is associated with APAC purchased the site next door, which we call the air shaft parcel, because it literally sits on top of the freeway. That site was purchased as a hard to develop but still good expansion site for APAC at some point in the future, and that's why we're here before you today. APAC has grown very, very substantially in its location. They've generated jobs. In fact, there are job openings at APAC right now, several. And APAC needs more space. So the PUD that we'll be filing with the Zoning Commission in the next few weeks calls for rezoning the property, the existing building, and the air shaft parcel, which are both commercially zoned now, to a one slightly higher category, C3C, which will allow for some additional commercial density to allow APAC to grow. The PUD plans are actually fairly modest given the scale of some of the office development going on directly to the south. They call for adding 2 stories to the existing building. The existing building is 90 feet. And then constructing a 90-foot building, 110-foot building, on the air shaft parcel. So about 90,000 feet of space will be added to the air shaft parcel, and then an additional 2 stories on top of the existing building. Crystal is here, and she can explain how APAC operates and how it's grown and why the space is needed. As I said, we'll file a PUD and rezoning application in the next few weeks. We'll send out a notice of intent to all the neighbors in the immediate square and the immediate neighborhood. We'd like to hear from people. I can run through the plans quickly if people would like to see the design, which really mirrors the existing building. But that's really all we wanted, just to touch base with you tonight and not to take a lot of time on your agenda.
So we moved into this building in February of 2008. We had 125 employees. We currently have 202, and we've got about 20 open positions right now. So we're growing. Most of that growth has occurred in the last 3 to 4 years, and we expect that trajectory to continue. And also, taking a look at our existing staff, 42% of our staff live in DC, so they work and live in DC. And so we expect to keep growing and keep adding jobs, and so we need to expand. We thought the original building would last us 10 years, but it's going to be a little short at 10 years, so we're looking to add some more.
So we're guessing that once you get your plans together and you submit, you'll be coming back to us with more detail?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Okay,
We
great.
can run through the plans tonight, or we can just do that at the next
Honestly, I'm
meeting.
going to put you off because we do have quite a few lengthy presentations.
That's what I thought.
I'm so sorry.
No,
But
thank
when
you.
you're ready with your PUD, Frank Madera, where are you? This lady has 20 job openings. This is Mr. Maduro from the mayor's office. You may want to,
We'll go touch base.
yes, please.
That's great.
So
Okay.
one
And
question
I
for
may-
you.
Oh, sorry.
If I may say, we just had a very successful hiring event. We're just going through basically the pre-screening process now at the Kennedy Rec Center, and we just had one today. We had about 80 to 90 people that showed up, 150 got registered, and we're expecting 150 to show up tomorrow. And we're gonna have about 12 to 13 employers that will show up to interview those people that have been pre-screened. So I just wanted to say that. Thank you.
Okay.
And I'll
If you guys could
We'll
connect
do that right
bases,
now.
we would like to see some of our locals have a chance at some of those 20 jobs that are out there. Okay, thank you so
I
much.
have
I'm
two
sorry,
questions.
question.
So the first question is related to the plans, and I know we're not going through the detail, but I'm just curious as to how you're accommodating the air shaft for the tunnel with the new construction.
That's a good question. We'll either envelop it with our new building. One of the main design goals of the PUD is to hide that ugly air shaft. There's a possibility it may be able to be dismantled.
And then the other question or just a statement is that in your PUD, we would expect to see community benefits.
Absolutely.
Community amenities that would benefit the residents of that immediate area.
Absolutely.
So I just want to make sure that you're aware of that. Thank you.
Sounds like fun.
Okay, we'll be
Thank you
back.
so much for coming out. Presentation for Bible Way Church. Yes. Can I get one? Give me a hug, girl. Oh, wow. I'll call you, we'll have one. Okay.
Thank you. Can I get an extra copy of what you just?
One second. Are we getting some of these papers? Oh, okay.
Haven't gotten copies of the presentation.
What's that?
Copies of the presentation?
Oh, yeah.
She said you already got, it's the same thing that we gave you the other night. Oh, Breda has it, but, okay, sorry, can I get some of those back?
I got some.
I guess, can we turn the lights down?
Kevin got it. Kevin got it.
Oh, wow, okay. Thanks. All right, hi, my name's Elizabeth Everhart. I'm with Mission First. We're a development partner with Bible Way Church. This is Dan Henson from the Henson Development Company. We've come before you a few times before to present the Plaza West project. This is over at 4th and K Northwest. We came to the Development Committee last Thursday to ask for a letter of support to DHCD. DHCD is approved an over $18 million loan for the project. And as part of that, they send an ANC notification, and we came in advance of that letter arriving to request a letter of support to DHCD. So just quickly give you, this is what generally the project is going to look like. This is standing on K Street over top of 395, looking northwest. So the project site runs all the way from K Street up to New York Avenue along 395. And then we have a little bit of K Street frontage and a little bit of 4th Street frontage. Total of 223 units. They're all affordable. 50 of the units are set aside for grandparents raising grandchildren. This is what our site looks like. The green space at the top is going to be open space. It's going to be fenced. There'll be a playground and amenity spaces for the residents. The yellow part is the actual building. It's an interesting shape, but we've got a great architect that's made it work. So here's the ground floor plan. This has got 4th Street to the bottom, K Street to the right. So you can see the open space. We have an entrance specifically for the grand family units over along 4th Street. Those are the purple units there. They're going to have their own lobby, elevators, and amenity spaces. There'll be 50 units all stacked right there, 2 and 3 bedroom units. There'll be shared parking and loading off of 4th Street. There's one level of underground parking. And then there'll be a kind of general population family affordable entrance off of K Street, again, having its own set of elevators and amenities. This is a typical floor plan. Again, the purple units are the grand family units. Those are going to be pushed more to the north side of the site. And then the yellow are the general family units. We have a couple double loaded corridors, but mostly single loaded. It's a challenging site. Just for those that don't know Bible Way, they've done a lot of affordable housing projects in the neighborhood. This is Golden Rule Plaza over at 1050 New Jersey Avenue, completed in 2003. That's a 119-unit affordable senior building. This is Golden Rule Apartments, underwent a gut rehab in 2008. It is project-based Section 8. This is the Severna at 1001 First Street. This is 100% affordable, completed in 2011. And then the Severna on K, which was completed in 2014. This is mixed income, fully leased as of this date. So our development team, we have Golden Rule Plaza, Inc. It's a nonprofit affiliate of Bible Way Church. They own the property currently. Mission First, we're a nonprofit affordable housing developer here in DC. The Henson Development Company, very experienced nationwide developer. Hickok Cole is our architect. They're a CBE architect in DC. Davis Construction is our contractor. And we also have a construction manager that's a CBE. So again, we're here today just to request a letter of support for to DHCD, since they have approved the project through their loan committee. The project is being built matter of right. We haven't asked for any zoning approvals. And assuming everything goes well through permitting, we could start construction as early as December. The anticipated construction schedule is 23 months. It'll take 2 years to complete the building. So I'm happy to answer any questions.
Well, y'all know what my first question is. What happened with 614 square feet?
So there was a small city-owned parcel that we recently incorporated into our site. How do I get back there? So I did go back and ask the city for dog park regulations.
I know what the regulations are.
Okay.
This was an exception to everything based on the land giveaway and a couple of other things. We know it's 10,000 square feet if you go through DPR, but this was an exception. This was a deal. I actually sent something to Sarosh, and I got no response. Nothing from Department of Real Estate for DC government. My question is, have they already sold you that parcel of land? And
Yes,
you have
ma'am.
signed, sealed, and committed it?
We bought the land.
Knowing that we were in a dispute over this from way back when,
Well, you reminded us the other day, yes.
but it didn't make any, it didn't matter. Didn't make any difference to you.
We've been
It
working.
didn't matter that the city didn't respond to you? We're not the city.
Let's not go there.
Well, I don't want to go there. I want to basically try to move a very positive project ahead.
I
and-
understand what you're suggesting.
You got a dog park that would have accommodated 2 dogs. That's what that land would have done.
Any questions from anybody on the commission? I'm fed up. Anybody from Alex?
I was very disturbed to learn at the zoning and planning committee meeting the other day that a piece of property at K Street adjacent to the Center Lake Freeway, which had been promised to the community and promised to this commission, would be an amenity related to the Fifth and I parcel where People's Development is going to be constructing the hotel, was suddenly being incorporated into this project. And I raised it at that time. The committee voted to recommend to the commission that the commission not provide the requested letter of support for the $18 million in financing from DHCD, because this is about the 12th or 13th time now that the Deputy Mayor for Planning and Economic Development has ignored the understandings that have been established with developers, and the recommendations of the commission have been ignored. This is not a minor matter for any of us. I think everybody on this commission is supportive of increasing the amount of affordable housing. Can we get the next one? Of affordable housing, not only in our jurisdiction but throughout the city. But through multiple mayoral administrations, our community and our commission area have gotten the shaft from the Deputy Mayor for Planning and Economic Development. Your project, unfortunately, is now becoming, instead of being a wonderful opportunity for us to demonstrate our support for affordable housing, is becoming yet another struggle with DEMPED to try to get DEMPED to do the right thing by our constituents. So, that having said, even though I have been a long time and continue to be an advocate for affordable housing and preservation of affordable housing, I can't support issuing this letter to DHCD about this financing. This is a titanic struggle that this commission is in the midst of with the Deputy Mayor for Planning and Economic Development. And until we get to the point where the Deputy Mayor for Planning and Economic Development understands that this commission is a partner and is a decision maker with that agency, they cannot presume that we are going to rubber stamp every request that is made by their agency and every recommendation that is made by their agency. So, for the reasons that I stated, I will not be voting to support the issuance of this correspondence. I think it's a wonderful project. I voted to support this project in the past, but I cannot overcome the intentional, as far as I can tell, disregarding of this commission's opinions by the Deputy Mayor's office in order to be able to support the issuance of this correspondence.
The Little Dog Park is one aspect, but we truly wanted to see mixed-use housing where there would be some affordable, some 80, 60, 30 AMI, but it was not all in one building. I mean, it's been a proven fact throughout this city that that doesn't work, and I know you have an answer for that. But it doesn't work to put all low-income and moderate-income people into one building. Somehow it just doesn't. When the original plan was put in with some market, some affordable, some
You may
lower.
recall that we've shown you where it's working. Projects
I
that we have
said,
done.
you have an answer for everyone.
No, our
of those
answer
things.
is we've done it here.
When it was partially market value and partially in low income, as all of the other buildings around in the neighborhood you're putting the building, it seems to be working in all those other buildings as well. But the fact of the matter is, I personally don't see that having all affordable in one building is the answer. The original plan, I was the biggest supporter. I even went up to New York and looked at the project in the Bronx that is already in place supporting the concept of the grandparent building. But again, as Alex said, this commission this community gets screwed left, right, inside out by the city officials. They don't even, at this point, the director of real estate didn't even bother to respond asking, when I asked questions. And that to me is despicable and disgraceful. And I'm sorry it's gonna be affected via
Right.
you, at least in terms of my vote.
You can't hold
So-
us responsible for the man not returning your call.
And if I can just let you know, the studios will run from about 875 to 1035, one bedrooms from about 1,000 to 1,100, two bedrooms from 1,100 to 1,350, and three bedrooms at 1,550. So these are all working folks that'll be living in these
This is
units.
workforce housing.
Does your project require that you actually segregate the grandparent component
Yes.
by itself, and you can't just do a scattered site throughout it?
No, we wanted the grand family's concept. We have spent hours talking about this, and I could spend hours. Grand family's concept calls for it to be sort of hermetically sealed, so that essentially you've got the grandparents and the kids working together, trying to get to know each other. Everybody within the building is everybody else's grandparent. It's a fabulous concept, but it's basically got to be by itself, and it's also got to be sort of one way in, one way out. So the idea of having the entrance on 4th Street, that's the only way in and the only way out. There's a 24-hour guard at the door. It's sort of got to be by itself. And then the rest of the building essentially is designed to be a regular apartment building.
I kind of understand what Marjorie was saying, because
I do
used
too,
to live
by
under
the way.
contract for HUD, and that was a huge problem, where they were trying to do the grandparent thing back in the 90s, and what would happen is the kids would grow up, and then they would start preying on some of the older citizens who were in here. But the scattered site model, back in the 86 is when I started working for Michigan State Housing Development. That's when they said the problem was you do not put people who are low income in a building and isolate them. And much of that legacy is what's happening on 7th Street with all the shootings, is that you still have that same thing here in DC, where you segregate these populations and put them together, and then it just turns into
We have targeted
Just blows
social
up.
services on site that specifically are for older folks as well as for children.
yeah,
So
but
the idea is,
kids grow up. They
right,
become
no, and
Yes.
we've designed the building to reflect that as well. So we have additional amenity
The
spaces.
families will age out here.
Right. Yeah, it won't be in perpetuity. We have a kind of exit plan for when kids age out and then where the grandparents
And
move
just
on.
like, just cannot do a scattered site on that.
Okay,
Can't mix it.
I have to ask you to be on
Yeah,
hold
I'm
for a
sorry.
minute. Commissioners,
Okay.
any other comments or questions from the commission? Okay. This is in your single-member district, Alfreda. Would you like to make a motion? And, you know, do you support this? You don't support it. Do you want to make a motion to, or do you want someone else to? You want to make a motion,
Sure.
Alex, please?
I move that Advisory Neighborhood Commission 6E send a letter of disapproval to the Department of Housing and Community Development related to the $18 million in financing for the Plaza West project, and that we copy the mayor's office and Councilmember Allen.
If I can just add to the record as well.
I'm sorry, you can't right now. This is a motion. Okay, that's the motion. Do I get a second? You'll second it? Okay, Alfreda. Discussion now, you can make your comment and then
We asked for documentation of any promises made by the district to this ANC, and we have not been in receipt of anything. We went through a fully approved city process to acquire the land, since we are the only adjacent property owner. It was able to convert a number of our units from studios to 1-bedrooms, which was something that we wanted to be able to do, and some 1-bedrooms to 2-bedrooms. So, you know, we don't feel like that we necessarily went behind anyone's back, and if there was documentation that was in place that we had been made aware of, you know, we would have worked through that. You know, we've designed the building to include that parcel for that reason. Right now, it's covered with a community garden and lots of debris and stuff. We think that we're going to make it better than that. by incorporating it into the project. So
Okay, I'm sorry, I have to
Excuse
cut you off. Go ahead.
You said your affordability is how much?
So the building's all affordable, and it's at a variety of different income levels. So it's all the way from 30 to 60% of area median income. Mostly 50 and 60% of area median income.
Okay, we do have a motion on the table and we do have to act on it, but we do have to move on. Alex made a motion that we not support this request for a
We issue a letter of opposition
opposition.
to the ACC.
Okay. It was seconded by Alfreda. Discussion was had. Or if you, we're gonna vote, if you are supporting what Alex is saying, that is to not support giving a letter to the city for the support of the project, signify by raising your hand. Okay, so 3. If you are opposed to the suggested motion, please signify by raising your hand. Okay. And 1 abstention. So the motion is that we will not write a letter of support for you.
That we will write a letter of opposition.
We will write a letter of opposition.
May I ask a question?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Yvonne Williams from Bible Way Church. My question is, will the letter that you write to the mayor include an expression of your reason for this project?
Yes? The reason, the first and most important reason is we don't want a building that is totally affordable housing.
I don't think that was included
That's
in the
not what
motion.
you said the other night.
No, those are, that is one of
That's
the 2
one
points
of
that we
the
raised.
2 reasons we are.
And just for the record as well, initially this project was proposed as a mixed income project, and the city actually rejected our proposal and asked us to come back with a 100% affordable project, which is what we did. So that's why it's been a couple of years since we've been here to
Which was to
present.
respond to the concern that many people have raised about the lack of affordable housing in this area. Just for the record.
Perfect. I have to add also that for 50 years, Bible Way affordable housing. And I can't recognize the picture that someone has painted, but you can't have all those people in a building. We have a Section 8 building, 100%, 184 families. That was built in 1972, I believe. And we're doing just fine, thank you. It's clean, it's modern. Anyone wants to go on a tour, we can take them there. We have a 119-unit senior building. Again, so our experience of 50 years, over 500 units of affordable housing, we can witness that you can have 100. It's absurd to make that statement when we are standing here in flesh and blood. We have done it, and it's going just fine. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your comment.
Include in your letter the reason also, in addition to having been whatever mistreated by the city, state that your reason is that 100% affordable buildings don't work. Put that in writing, and I'll be the first one there with the evidence of 50 years and over 500 units. You know, this is an absurdity that you have done, but be my guest.
But
Thank
I
you
do
for
want-
your comment.
I do want to add something. I do realize that you all did do great jobs in this building. But in the community, we have a dismissed area where someone can play at, with playground areas. We don't have anything. So.
What about the rec center?
The rec center is not open all the time for the kids.
And they don't want kids in
Yeah. So, I mean, this is something that you all, I
there. It
mean.
has nothing to do with your project.
You've got bigger issues than this little piddly
No,
building.
I'm just saying. You all do.
You feel like you're not being respected by your city government.
No.
And that's not our
We have to
problem.
move on. I am sorry. We voted. The vote was
Okay.
3-2-1. Thank you very much for
Thank
coming.
you.
Sir, are you sure you won't reconsider your abstention?
Monument Realty, excuse me, Monument Realty, are you ready to present?
We can write a letter.
Thank you. Please come up.
I'm Josh Olson from Monument Realty. My team is coming up now, they'll set up the boards, but in terms of introduction, I have Jeff Goins from PGN Architecture, Pat Brown, who's a land use attorney. We're not actually proposing that much in terms of zoning, but he's here in case there's any questions. Also on our team, but I don't think I've seen him, is Derek Woody. He's acting as a consultant. Some of you might know Derek. He was involved in the renovation of the Howard Theater when he was with the city government. And then also here, we're here to talk about 4 different properties that we'd be combining together and developing, and the various property owners are here. If you're a property owner, if you could raise your hand, that'd be great. And Tina, sorry, I'm going to embarrass you for a second. Tina Scott Boyd, who just put her hand up, standing up. Tina actually has the longest relationship with these properties in that she lived the first years of her life at 618 T Street, which had a bar restaurant on the ground floor called Cecilia's. Her mother was Cecilia, and she, from up till the riots in 1968, lived with her family above the restaurant and bar. So glad to have her here. We've done a number of community presentations so far, so I won't belabor some of the points that we've gone through already. In brief, what we're proposing here is a 50 to 60 unit building. It would be 7 stories tall. It would have around 36 to 38 parking spaces in a low-grade garage. I should note, because we've done a number of these presentations, that originally we had a property on Wilberger Street, this warehouse, that was included in the development. That's no longer included, so we don't speak for the property owner. There's a possibility that we could work something out with the property owner, in which case we would obviously come back to the ANC to